Hey everyone, welcome. In this video we're going to talk a little bit about some writer essentials, the bare minimum I think that you should know about and that you will use when using writer. Now if you're just trying writer out and you have the 1 month free trial, I have a code for you in the description. You can go ahead and use that and that will extend your trial period to 3 months. And if you have the full subscription, I congratulate you. Let's get on with the features. So the first one that I would like to start off is creating a file. So the keybind for this is ctrl-alt-insert. So this brings up a window, and the thing with this window is you just go ahead and start typing what you need. So let's say if I need a C# class, I go ahead and just type that in, or if I need a JSON file, or if I need a directory, or if I just need a file, I can create that. So how does it create this file? Wherever you are in your Explorer, that's pretty much where it's going to put it. So let's say ctrl-alt-insert. I want to create a directory, and the thing that you can do with this is you can nest stuff. So let's say ab/c. Create that, and here I have the 3 folders, right? And let's say I want a C# class, right? So here again, I can type in the name, and using arrows up or down, I can choose whatever type of file I want, right? So let's say sandwich type, right? So that creates an enum, and again, just a very simple way to navigate this, play around with this if you just want to normal file, just file pop.json, and you got your JSON file, right? So let's close that. Next thing is navigating files. So most of the time, since I switched to Writer, I don't actually look or use this Solution Explorer. It's usually closed off, and I rarely open it. And the times that I open it is actually when I need to either create a file or when I completely don't know what I'm looking for. But the way you navigate through files, or the way I navigate through files, is Ctrl-Shift-N. So this brings up sort of a launcher toolbar. And here all you do is you just search for the file, right? So you can type in new, and this is one of the files that I have in the directory. You can search for directories themselves. There you have it. Those were some of the directories that I've created, included C, and then it's going to open the Explorer for you, etc. Any file that you have in the solution, you can search for it and instantly open it. So again, let's just say Ctrl-Shift-N. I want to go to program, find it, and it opens it, right? So this is just a copy of the same file. The next thing is sometimes you might lose these windows. So let's say I want to open unit testing. I know the button's right there, and I can go Alt-8 to open this window up, right? But sometimes you'll forget how things are named. So what you can do is Ctrl-Shift-A, and this is the same toolbar, but on the action side. And this is where you can type in unit testing or that same Explorer or terminal. And that's just a very convenient way to perhaps even find something that you don't know exists or not. So you just like, right, does Writer have anything related to a database? Yeah, it does. Right, so you might just have a question, just type that in there, and it might pop up, it might not. So the next feature I'd like to showcase is searching through files. So you press Ctrl-Shift-F, and you get this little window. So let's say I want to search for hello. Okay, and I can see all the files that it pops up in, and I can click to these places. And another cool thing is that you actually get an editor window here. So let's say I'm working with something awkward like HTML, and some of it bleeds up into my C# string code, you know, something horrible is happening in the code base. I can search for the thing, and I can slowly go through this sort of like a checklist of renaming stuff and making sure I got everything right. And since I can edit the code here, what will happen is essentially I'll go grab this hello, add something onto it, or let's actually remove the else so we don't have it appear in the search anymore, right? So then you get this sort of like invalid thing, and that's pretty much my checkbox for, right, I am done with that file. And again, it's just really good for finding stuff, and it's really fast as well. Okay, next for the essential things is just renaming stuff, right? You're gonna write code, you're gonna mess up the names, you will have to rename it. Like, so the standard way in Visual Studio, you'd be pressing Ctrl R, Ctrl R. Here it's F2, same as it would be on the file system or whatever, right? So you rename it. It might tell you a few other things it might do. So, for example, like renaming this member as well, so it's smart that way. Sometimes it's convenient. Actually, most of the time it's convenient. And if it's not, you can just untick the box and it's not gonna do it for you. So renaming stuff, you press F2. There is also another way that I do it in Visual Studio sometimes. So again, if you have multiple occurrences of the word, you can find it here, and then the stuff that you want to replace it with, because sometimes it's not going to be just a member thing. You will have something like, let's say, variable a equals method x or something like that, and then you will have to change it to variable a equals, method async b, right? And you will have to make this transition in many files, and again, Control Shift F, this is where you can search for this stuff, and you can kind of refactor it here as well. So if you press Control Shift H as well, you get the same window, but with the replace functionality, right? So here it's Control F if you just want to search the file, Control H if you want to search and replace, right? And same thing here. Control Shift F to search all files, and then Control Shift H to kind of replace and search, right? So useful things like that. So again, that was just Control H to replace stuff. Another cool thing it provides you with is being able to select all these occurrences. So let's say I have this iHello interface and I have a bunch of other places where it's used. What I can do is I can press Control Shift Alt and J, and it will select all of these occurrences, right? So even if I have, for example, hello here, or rather, let's say iHello in the string, so I press Control Alt J, and it's ready to be refactored, right? So I'll just pop that back to hello. Okay, so the next couple of things are not as important, but they're still very nice to know about. So one of them is bringing up navigational prompts. So Control Shift G, and this is pretty much how you can find out where the implementations are, right? So this is how you either look where the method might get called from, or the general stuff, just where you are in the code, or where you can go up a level or down a level, where is it getting called from, etc. Another thing, Control Shift G for navigation, Control Shift R is to trigger a refactor prompt. So this will provide you with some other options like change signature. I'm going to talk a bit more about that in a different video just to keep it more categorized, but I don't think this is essential. But yeah, you get a bunch of more options here, and depends on what you click. I mean, not click, but where you trigger it, you get different options, right? So sometimes if you're refactoring and you're maybe just curious what writer may offer you, the next thing is you're pretty much going to be using it throughout programming with writer, and it's the same with Visual Studio, is Alt Enter. So you have this highlighted thing, you press Alt Enter, and you see with all the things you can do here. And again, navigate to and refactor this are part of these Alt Enter options, but again, just knowing the shortcut to do that, to skip this Alt Enter step is quite useful. Right, so anytime you see the squiggly line or sort of highlighting bits or grayed out bits, pretty much almost anywhere you can trigger this function and you can see what it can offer you. So for example here, let's turn it to string.format, and there we go. So it's these kind of things that Alt Enter may bring up, even if it's not highlighted. It may still give you a option to, like, if you, for example, have a long multiple if statements, and it will do a squiggly line there, and it will show you how to convert all of those to, well, not show you, it's just going to convert all of those to switch statements. So whatever you prefer, It's going to make it easy for you to transition between, I guess you can say, coding styles. The next thing are basically snippets. So for example, like if you type in prop and you get your property, same as Visual Studio, ctrl, you get constructor. Writer takes it a little bit further, and you can have a little insert keybind. So same as ctrl alt insert, where you create your files, you have alt insert, and this is where you can just grab your constructor, and you can say like I want the property initializer there, and then you have your constructor with one parameter that's already a property, and it assigns it automatically to one of your properties, right? So very, very useful stuff to have. So remember, alt insert, you grab your option, whichever one you need. Like if you're overloading equality comparers, or you need a deconstructor, alt enter is your boy, right? So if you primarily, my reason is if I just need a constructor, I make a constructor. Otherwise, I'll alt insert constructor, and then I do some configuration here to initialize my variables and whatnot. And the last two, probably the least important, column selections. So in Visual Studio, there was a feature of column select that was just working out by default, but here I haven't figured out how to actually just trigger it manually, but you have to sort of go into this column select mode. So what I mean by column select mode is you grab Shift Alt Insert, and then at the bottom right here, you will see it's swapped to column. And now if you hold Shift and go up and down, it will select it in a column. So then you can sort of select stuff like this. Okay, and it's again, it's very smart in selecting these. This kind of thing would never happen in Visual Studio. Come on. So yeah, column select mode. I don't actually use it that often anymore because other tools, like for example that ctrl-alt-J refactor bit, kind of already does it for you. So yeah, and also just good to know that if you get that little column bit there and you're suddenly starting to select stuff weirdly, it's just nice to know how to get out of it. And the next thing is getting to your csproj file. I don't know why can't just put it in the file system along with the other stuff. Why does it need to be hidden? I don't know. You basically select the project and you press F4 and you're at your csproj file. Otherwise, if you want to get to it, you right click on it, go to edit, and click on edit csproj file. This will be it for this tutorial. Just to recap, this is a list of just the essentials that I think you need to get started with Writer. Everything else that I'm going to talk about in these series are just extras, and really these will be self-discovered by you if you go on and embark on using Writer on your own. And the need to discover those will just happen out of necessity, because you're just going to be like, right, I've done this thing like 1,000 times, I'm tired, is there a tool to help me with this? And generally those kind of tools should already be in your IDEs, and that's what sets apart text editors between actual integrated development environments. That's the heavy lifting part that they do for you. Right, but hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Leave a like, subscribe. If you have any questions, leave a comment. If you know any other cool features in Writer or have discovered something, make sure to leave a comment. As always, don't forget to use the promotional code to extend your trial period. I'll see you around.